Vulnerability isn't a weakness. It's actually the key to unlocking genuine connections. I want to help you shed your mask and build stronger relationships that enhance your leadership abilities and are based on authenticity and trust. The modern world often fosters a culture of curated perfection where vulnerability is seen as a weakness. The disconnect between your online persona and your real life persona leaves you feeling isolated, like you're not enough, and it causes you to compare yourself to others. The problem is it prevents you from having authentic connections. This video explores the power of vulnerability, showcasing its ability to build deeper and more meaningful connections that results in a massive amount of personal power and leadership acumen. We'll look at the toll that being inauthentic can take on you, the power you actually gain from embracing your imperfection, some practical strategies to help you be more vulnerable. And if you stick around to the end, I actually have been researching a lot of this through Brene Brown. So I've got some of her pearls of wisdom as well. So stick around to the end of the video. And then lastly, we're going to talk about how to actually cultivate authentic relationships. Let's go ahead and dive in. The first thing we'll look at is the toll that being inauthentic can actually take on you. And the first thing is that you find that you are operating with this facade that is just very difficult to uphold, and it causes so much of your energy to be burned trying to be something that you're not, trying to keep up with the perfection that people are touting on social media and other places. Now, this issue can manifest itself with an extreme fatigue, both mentally and physically. Also, it will prevent you from building potentially genuine relationships because you're not yourself. You're not operating authentically. Next, there's a fear of shame or being judged or something along those lines. When you do not show up authentically, you're constantly, worrying about being found out, if you will. And this leads to, again, feelings of shame, feelings of not being enough, not being X enough for the people that you are around or that you are not showing up authentically around. So you want to avoid this like the plague. So showing up inauthentically is really taking a toll on you. This fear and judgment also causes you, or could cause you, to start working on relationships that are just not real. Those superficial relationships that don't last and cause you more harm than good. We've all had them where we show up as inauthentic and we befriend people, or people befriend us thinking that we are the person that we are playing out to be, only to come to find out that they are not who you really wanted to be around. Maybe you were faking it for no reason, or it turns out that the reason wasn't a good one. And now you're in this relationship that's very superficial and is not serving you. So when you do not show up as your authentic self, you could be building relationships that are superficial and that are not real themselves. All right. The next thing, when it relates to not showing up authentically, is you might even start to feel anxiety, depression. These things can manifest themselves as well when you are not showing up as yourself, or even as your best self. We talk about this inside my program, Project CEO, just being unapologetically you. And if you're not doing that, that can be the contributing factor to your anxiety, your depression, those feelings of not being enough or not having what it takes to get the job done. And who wants to feel that? Because quite honestly, the world has enough going on in it that could make us depressed or feel bad or have anxiety. The one thing you can control is being 100% you. So I suggest that you start there with this first step, is being authentic. Don't show up, because being inauthentic takes a huge toll on who you are and how you want to show up in the world. All right, let's look at the next thing. If you want to make solid connections in your life, career, and or business, and I suggest that that be a desire of yours, this idea of connection and being vulnerable is super important for you to grasp. Now, in this next idea, I want you to think about the power of embracing your imperfections. As I mentioned earlier, vulnerability is not a weakness. It's actually a sign of strength. It is so powerful to share your vulnerability with people. It opens a door that makes it a safe place for them to share their vulnerabilities with you. It allows for deeper connection on a much deeper level, which is what we're trying to get to, right? When we are looking to be amazing leaders, looking to be, the best possible versions of ourselves. When we are vulnerable, we are opening, like I said, a safe space for people to be vulnerable with us as well. So when you embrace your imperfections and you become a little bit more authentic, it fosters empathy. It fosters trust and those deeper connections. Ultimately, this is going to create, like I said, the safe space that allows for free expression and conversation and deeper connections. Hey guys, don't mind my appearance. I am just here to pop in because this is the perfect place to share with you my program, Project CEO. I talked about it many times here on the channel, but I'm super excited to share it here in this video because we're talking about vulnerability. It is so difficult to be vulnerable around people if there is a fear around whether or not you're good enough, whether or not you are capable or you're in the right place. My program, Project CEO, goes above and beyond to help you identify what it means to be unapologetically you. I'm going to share with you how to set appropriate boundaries, how to manage expectations, not only yours, but those of others. And I'm also going to share with you how you can teach people how to treat you, and more importantly, hold them accountable for what they learn. What this does is it improves your confidence. It helps you identify what you need to stay self-aware and to be self-regulating. This is a huge component of being successful in no matter what platform you're trying to be successful in. So please go down in the description, grab this link, and add your name to the wait list. I'm not quite ready to open the doors, but I promise you, if you are on that list, you are going to reap benefits that you have never seen. I'm excited to get this program launched for this year. There are so many people who have gone before you and they love it, and they've replied back to me how amazing it has been in their transformation and their abilities to achieve their goals in a much more confident and self-aware way. So if you're struggling with being vulnerable, if you're struggling with your self-confidence, if you're not quite sure how you want to show up unapologetically you, please add your name to that wait list and get ready for those doors to open. All right, now, I apologize for my look. This was me during edit day, but that doesn't mean you shouldn't go down and add your name to that list. Go ahead and do that, and let's get back to today's video. Now, I promised you that I would get to the thoughts around Brene Brown's Power of Vulnerability TED Talk that she did. And I will link that TED Talk in the description box so you can watch it for yourself. But I have some notes over here because I really thought it was important to share them with you as close to what she said as possible because I thought it was so profound. So Brene said that she had discovered the difference between people who were capable of being vulnerable and those who were not. And what she found was the secret was telling the story of who you are with your whole heart. Now, guys, do you know what that is the definition of? She says in her talk that that is the definition of courage. Now, the root word of courage is core, I believe it was, and it means heart. And so what she's saying is that courage is you being able to tell your story with your whole heart, being open and vulnerable. Isn't that cool? She does a great study. She talks about the courage. You have to have the courage to be imperfect, compassion to be kind to yourself first. And then she's saying that it's difficult to have this compassion for other people if you can't have compassion for yourself first. So it's important going back to Project CEO and really learning what that looks like for you. What do you need? How can you explain and provide that information, teach people how to treat you so that you can be compassionate to yourself first and have the ability to explain that before you are able to be compassionate with other people? How can you be courageous in your imperfections if you don't know what they are or you haven't faced them and accepted them. That's the beauty of Project CEO, because we walk you through that. She also talks about the belief that we have to have that we are enough. I say this all the time. We are enough. We are the sum of our influence, perspective, passion, and experiences, and nobody has the exact same combination as us. So we are so unique. And if we would just embrace that, no matter our faults, our failures, our challenges, we can be vulnerable because we know that nobody has exact same combination. That makes us unique as a snowflake, as a fingerprint. So who is there to compare ourselves to, right? Somebody else is on their own journey, so we can be courageous in our imperfections. I just love that. So the ability to build trust gradually by trusting other people to hold your vulnerability safe is important in the idea of vulnerability. So what are some practical strategies that we can use right now for vulnerability? Well, like I said, Brene gave us a great framework in being courageous to be ourselves, in our imperfections, to have compassion for ourselves. But then also, again, believing that you're enough, but also allowing yourself to be seen. You know, you want to have authentic and genuine relationships. And so in order to do that and not have those superficial relationships, you have to open the door. You have to show behind the curtain a little bit so that you are matching energies with people and you're finding those connections that are genuine. One of the things that Brene said that I found to be so profound, and I want to leave you with this when it comes to practical strategies for vulnerability. And that is everything good starts with being vulnerable. You can't have love and joy. You can't be empathetic if you're not vulnerable. She gives an amazing example in one of her talks about being a parent and having a child that comes home and they're telling you about their horrible experience where people were teasing them and things were going on at school and it just made her so unhappy. And the mom could say, oh my gosh, get over it, grow up. That's just a part of life. Or the mom could be empathetic, drawing from her own experiences and allowing herself to be vulnerable and say, wow, I'm so sorry that happened to you. That happened to me as well. We're going to get through it together. See the difference? One was the parent not being vulnerable. The other was the parent being very vulnerable and tapping into her own experience. How can you do that today with the people around you? As a leader, how can you be more vulnerable in such a way that it is nurturing and it is opening yourself up to build genuine relationships? Well, again, I'm just going to toot my own horn here because, again, these are great ideas. And I'm sure you might be saying, Andrea, I hear you. I know that maybe being vulnerable is a thing and being courageous is something that I need to do to get there. But I have absolutely no idea where to start. I don't know how to bring this thing home. Well, that's where Project CEO comes in. I am teaching you how to tap into your awesome, how to be the chief executive officer of your authenticity so that you can show up, you can have that courage, you can face your imperfections with confidence and be quite okay with them and build those genuine relationships. A lot of experts are telling you about the what. Let me help you inside Project CEO to teach you the how to get there, how to use the tools that these other experts are sharing with you. So I highly, highly suggest you tap into this resource that I'm sharing with you, get on the wait list so that you are ready to go when those doors open so that you can receive all the amazing gifts and things that I'm going to be sharing with those who are already on the wait list. Don't miss it. All right, so let's look at this last thing. How can we cultivate authenticity in relationships? Well, vulnerability is definitely the foundation for building and cultivating genuine relationships. And we've talked about the idea of being courageous, courageous enough to be okay with your imperfections and compassion and all of those things that Brene taught us in some strategies for being more vulnerable. But when it comes to cultivating authentic relationships, what does that look like? Well, I believe that it's important for you to do two things. Number one, develop your own personal framework. And I've talked about this countless times on my channel, where you are looking at your strengths, your limitations, your desires, and your non-negotiables. You are working those things out, and then you are living through that lens. You are operating your life through that lens. From that, you can then create what I call a personal operating system. And this system is how you are going to function, how you're actually going to live through your personal framework. It is how you're going to manage expectations. It's how you're going to set the appropriate boundaries. It is how you're going to teach people how to treat you and then hold them accountable for what they learn. So between your personal framework and that personal operating system, you will have what you need, the tools, the verbal communication, the ability to explain. That's what I want to say. You have the words and the ability to explain what you want, how you want to connect genuinely. You will have what you need to feel comfortable being vulnerable, because you'll understand it. You'll know where those weaknesses are, those limitations. You'll understand where your strengths lie, and you'll be able to manage yourself within that space a lot easier. And it'll make it a little bit easier with this self-awareness to be more vulnerable and to know when it's okay to let yourself loose, and when it's appropriate for you to share yourself with the person that you're with, because you'll know that this could be a genuine connection. All right. Now that you understand the power of vulnerability, you understand the toll that being inauthentic can take on you. You have some information on how to embrace your imperfections. I've shared these powerful and practical strategies to help you be more vulnerable. And I've shared how you can build out authentic relationships and cultivate those things. Now I have two more things that I want you to know. Number one, watch this next video, because I am showing you how to communicate a little bit better your vulnerability, how to use words more clearly, concisely, so you're not rambling. And then also I want you to, if you are struggling with the idea of being vulnerable because you don't want to expose yourself, you're afraid of that shame, let me help you build that CEO confidence by joining my waitlist for Project CEO. Those are the two things that I want you to do. Now, this third thing is, if either of these steps hit home for you and you feel like it kind of unlocks something, or maybe it confirms something for you, subscribe to my channel, because odds are more things on my channel in my playlists will help you as well, because all my videos are kind of connected, right? So go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Make sure that you are notified every time an upload comes out, which we know is every Thursday. And also, just so you know, my video podcast posts every Tuesday. So you're getting a twofer when you subscribe to my channel. And then lastly, if you enjoyed my vibe, give this video a thumbs up. I'm in the process of monetizing my channel. I need the watch hours. And if you made it this far in the video for me to make this request, then you should definitely hit the subscribe button, because you're already a girlfriend. You're already in the boss squad. Just make it official. All right. But until next time, guys, thank you so much for watching this week's video. I really hope that this was helpful in you making more genuine connections and being more vulnerable and being unapologetically you, because you know that it holds a massive amount of power in the things that you're trying to accomplish. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you back here next week. Bye.